Tonight, NPP flagbearer Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia faces significant challenges in uniting and organizing the party ahead of the 2028 elections following his victory in a high-stakes presidential primary.
The flag bearer would take the lead in getting everybody together and present one face to the country. That's what's going to happen.
Well, the first major impediment is how he reunites the party.
But that also should never be a tool for blackmail, which will mean that because we did everybody on board, people will use that as a blackmailing tool.
Well, we speak to experts on some expected tough decisions and sacrifices Dr. Bawumia and the NPP need to make to achieve unity. Right here on Top Story. And Top Story, as always, is brought to you by Telecell Connect and Energize, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil. Enjoy a holy sleep and Shield Pension Trust into the future with you. Now, Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia is the man the NPP has chosen to lead the opposition party into the 2028 general elections. But the weight of his new role settles heavy on his shoulders. He had won the NPP primary over the weekend, but the real battle was only beginning. Dr. Bawumia has to unite a fractured party, reach out to his rival contestant, galvanize a disillusioned base, and outmaneuver a formidable NDC candidate in the 2028 elections. All aspirants who took part in the race have since publicly pledged their support, calling for unity, reconciliation, and mutual respect as the party repositions itself for a return to power. Speaking to Joy Business, Chairman of the Communications Directorate of Dr. Bawumia's campaign, Akomea described the cause for unity as the most crucial step in rebuilding trust and strengthening the party after the divisive contest.
The call by the contestants themselves for unity is the first step towards unity. You understand? So these are the people who have been contesting against themselves for the last 6 months, making insinuations against each other, trying all they can to show that the other person wasn't good enough. So whatever division, anxiety, tension came primarily from the context. Now, when the contestants themselves now commit themselves to come together, that is the first requirement for unity. So it is a very happy situation.
So that's Nana Akomea there. Nana Akomea also noted that the burden now rests largely on the flag bearer to lead the reconciliation process, bring all factions on board, and present a united front to the Ghanaian electorate.
The flag bearer would take the lead in getting everybody together and present one face to the country. That's what's going to happen. And the history also backs the position. Every time we've had a flag bearer election and a flag bearer is elected, the flag bearer, with the goodwill of the people who contested him, the flag bearer goes to everybody and gets everybody behind him. Fortunately for us at this time, it's even better because we have a bit of time. In the past, we had 1 year, 1.5 years, 2 years. We've never had 3 years like we have now. So I have every confidence that the party would come back together and prosecute one agenda.
Governance expert Professor Bafo Agyeman has been speaking on this particular matter. He's talking about the challenges ahead and how the flag bearer can help deal with these issues.
Well, the first major impediment is how he reunites the party, because as you know, there were a lot of tension and some very rough edges in the statements of some of the candidates in the party. So it's very important that he finds a way to quickly run them around and find a way to appease them and for them to throw their whole weight behind him. That's the one thing I see clearly. The other one is how they proceed with the campaign itself. You know, many people are attaching to the failures, I should say, of the Akufo-Addo government. As vice president, he chaired the economic team. Even though I know towards the end of that regime, he was no longer playing that role. But people see him as perhaps a party to the failures of that government. So he may want to find a way to detach himself from Akufo-Addo. I don't know if he's going to be able to do that. But I think that's a big challenge for him. He has to recast himself as a new kid on the block with his own ideas, inspiring ideas, I should say. So I think his ability to do that is a challenge he has to overcome. These are the two key issues I see. And the kind of vision, of course, the third one, the kind of vision he can present to the people of Ghana to believe that, in fact, he's not going to repeat what happened the past 8 years, that he has his own vision for the country. If he's able to do that, I guess Ghanaians will look at him maybe in a different way, and that will be helpful for him.
Meanwhile, Chairman of the NPP's Council of Elders, Hackman Owusu Agyeman, says the specific strategy for achieving unity matters less than a shared commitment to work together for the party's success. He was speaking on News Desk.
There's no specific, it's a human institution. So whatever we start, that will give us the results. That's what we can do. We could say that we are starting from the so-called grassroots, or everybody is a member of the grassroots. We all belong. I belong to a constituency. I belong to a police station. So that's the grassroots. So we all have to work together. I think that what you are asking us is a strategy that we would employ. But the strategy is, for me, straightforward and simple. Whether whichever group you belong to, wherever constituency you are, police station you are, your job is to work for the advancement of the party. And I don't think there's a sort of strict laid out rule out to where you start.
So there's several calls have been made for the party to unite ahead of the 2028 elections. Just when they're done with the primaries, the major focus, people say, has to be the unity that needs to be built in the party. But other leading members of the party are also saying, do not use that call for unity as a tool to blackmail. Here is Samuel Abujinapo, a lead campaign member of the Bawumia campaign team.
When you look at the elections of 2024, it will be totally self-defeating to go on that path. Because what has happened today is really, if you strip it down and you want to be blunt, it means something, but it doesn't mean much. We've seen that many times. Political leaders have won internal elections. What matters the most is clinching the ultimate victory and getting the crown, which is 2028. And to get 2028 will mean getting everybody on board, especially when you look at the elections of 2024 and how that election panned out. It was clear that a lot of NPP supporters did not vote. And it was clear that the NPP's base was not energized enough. And it was clear that the NPP was fractured, and which meant that we did not have the full complement of the NPP's force. I don't suggest by any stretch of imagination that was the only reason why we lost that election, but that was definitely a significant contributing factor. And so anybody who is minded to organize a campaign which will culminate into a successful victory in 2028 must ab initio be mindful that we need everybody on board. And as I said earlier, the Honorable Kennedy Japon's comments continues to be very refreshing. But that also should never be a tool for blackmail, which will mean that because we did everybody on board, people will use that as a blackmailing tool. I think true blue party members, the Honorable Esibe Yabua, whom I respect a lot, did not support Dr. Bawumia. And when you listen to him, you heard him. He said he'd be happy to support and contribute and be involved in whatever the presidential candidate asks him to do. And that should be the attitude of all members of our party. All of our members should have this attitude that at this stage, it is the NPP that matters more than our individual accounts. And I believe the NPP will come together for victory 2028.
This is still Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. Well, let's bring in Dr. Arthur Kennedy, who is someone who has run in the NPP presidential primaries before and knows much more about the NPP. Doc, I'm grateful to you for joining us here on Top Story.
It's a pleasure to join, and good evening to your listeners.
Great. I mean, you've been here before. After such a primary, what should be the most critical challenge the flag bearer must work on?
Well, I think that you frame it a little wrong. It is not just a challenge of the flag bearer. It is a challenge of the whole party.
Okay.
I believe that every situation is unique. So the first thing is obviously the flag bearer must show leadership, trying to unite the party. I noticed that chairman of Council of Elders, Hackman, says it is the duty of every party member to support. It is not the duty of every party member to support, it is the choice of every party member to support. And we hope that they make that choice, because as we found out in 2024, there are people who didn't make any noise, but millions of them stayed at home and millions of them came out and voted for someone else. So it is important not just to bring on board those who ran in the primary, but those who were alienated by the process of the primary. And this might mean significant stakeholders who probably didn't even participate in the primary, and those who, in the words of Boachier Jakun, have resigned in their hearts. So first, the flag bearer needs to reach out. Yes, he won the vote, but the question is whether he can win the hearts and the votes during the general election. And that will start with the flag bearer, obviously, but then other important stakeholders, if they are brought on board the right way, I believe can help. So I think that is the challenge of the flag bearer. He must lead, but he cannot do it on his own.
So that's where Hackman's point comes in, right? That every member of the party must see it as a responsibility to help in the rebuilding. You say it must be the flag bearer. He's only an individual.
Yeah, that's exactly the point I made. I do not think it is only the duty of the flag bearer, but of course I heard Abujina talk about blackmail. Some other people will also use this hastily done primary as a blackmailing tool. After all, we won the primary. So blackmailing does not build party unity. Honest inclusiveness and humbly addressing the grievances of party members is what matters, because after all, when people enter the polling booth, they will do that as individuals, and nobody can have any way of enforcing, quote unquote, a duty. It is a choice, and we need to work so that people see that choice as voting for Dr. Bawumia, because we can't even win with only those returning. We need to win with some NDC members who hopefully may be disaffected coming to join us.
How does he do that? How does he win the hearts, as you put it?
Well, I mean, the first thing is that he needs to be open-headed and open-minded and humble. And once he does that, it will open other people's hearts as well, so that they can listen to him with love and with empathy. At the end of the day, the question is inclusiveness. You cannot say that, oh, it is your duty, and if you don't want to do it, stop, because we are even going to go ask for NDC votes. So I think that if you don't do those things well, then given where Ghanaian politics is evolving, the people who have resigned in their hearts will either stay home or, God forbid, go and vote for the NDC again.
Will you, for one, be available if Dr. Bawumia should say, Dr. Kennedy, I need you to come and help us rebuild this party?
Absolutely. It depends on what he tells me, but I won't be blackmailed. I'm not going to come and help because it is my duty to help. I will come based on what you tell me about the lessons that you learned. I think that President Kufuor was an excellent model for unity. After he won the primaries, he did a very good job. As Kufuor used to tell me and most other people, including Hackman, every party has factions, and the duty of a good leader is to pacify the factions and unite them. So if that is done well, or for example, when your followers insult other people, you call them to order. You know, when other people have valid points, you accept that. You don't do things like because sometimes the blackmail is that the primary itself has been won in ways that made people unhappy, and it is being used to blackmail other people into falling in line.
Dr. Kennedy, do stay with me. I'll come back to you before I wrap up. Let me bring in Dr. Kwame Asante. He is a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana. Doc, from where you sit and what you do know about this primary and this party, after all, what do you think is the most critical step that a flag bearer must take? Hello, Dr. Asante, do I have you? Hello, Dr. Asante, do I have you?
Can you hear me? Yes, I can hear you.
I can hear you now. So if you heard me, I'm trying to find out from you what you think to you must be the most critical step that Dr. Bawumia must make.
One, Dr. Bawumia needs to be able to bring all the factions together and then make sure that they are united and they are going to fight the common cause of 2028 elections. That is one. This means that you are going to make sure that you listen to all their concerns and you address them head on. Two, Dr. Bawumia must be able to have answers for all the things he has said over the years relative to economic performance and economic programs, and then the things that have also been said against him. He must have answers to dealing with them, because they will come up as raw materials for opposition to launch their campaign on him. That is a fact. Then the last one that I think he has to do is to be able to win the confidence of those he contested with. Are those people prepared to work with him, and to what extent can they go and all that? He needs to be able to make sure that those people come into the fold, and then he depend on them, or he work with them to be able to wrestle power. It is a tall order. I don't know how he want to do it, but I'll leave it for him to deal with his problem.
Well, some people have proposed that he needs to win himself entirely over Kufuor before he would win the trust of Ghanaians. Is there a possibility in that once he was a vice president to the man?
He needs to do what? I missed that point.
Win himself entirely of Kufuor before he'll be able to win that trust. But I ask, will he be able? Is there a possibility in that once he was the vice president to the former president?
He should be able to do that, because you see, as of now, people believe that a vote for Bawumia is a vote for Kufuor. Those who were angry about Kufuor, that's how they think, and that's how it's going to translate in votes come 2028. So he needs to be able to win himself out of that area.
But how does he do that?
Yeah, you need to be his own man.
and take decisions without being dictated to from behind the scenes by the former president. Yes, he should be. If there is an attempt like that, he should be able to, stay firm and then say no, and then come out with his own decisions and all that. If you continue to, have that relationship and that master-servant relationship, then obviously he's going to incur the wrath of party people and by extension, Ghanaians.
But is this not akin to what happened in the case of, may his soul rest in peace, Professor Mills and Jerry John Rawlings?
We saw that, but Mills was able to win himself. You saw how he handled the situation. Will Bawumia get the courage to be able to do that? Because we saw instances where Bawumia said that, look, he was sidelined and all that. But I don't buy that argument, because if he had the courage, he would have resigned without saying, because somebody has said that he's bringing you on board simply because you have what it takes to support him in economic matters. Then he brings you in, and in no time you are being sidelined and all that. What it means is that either he believes that you are not performing as expected, or he doesn't want anything from you. Obviously, you need to vote with your feet by leaving the party.
Dr. Asansante, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. He is a senior lecturer, political science department, University of Ghana. Professor Smart Sapon is a researcher and lecturer at Kumasi Technical University. Prof, I'm grateful to you for joining us here. You conducted a lot of research ahead of the primary. Was there any bet on how the party people expect the flag bearer to behave after he wins?
Right. Kojo, if you can hear me, good evening. And I think in respect of your question, we are yet to do the post-election survey, and some of these things would come up. But I think off the head, there are two sides to the whole conversation. The party people themselves, and then the leader. Now, the party people must be the first set of persons or group to accept unity, to embrace unity. But nobody can do it better than themselves. So by now, all factions and all groups at the various constituencies and electoral areas, they know themselves. By now, they should all prepare their mind to come together as one body and work. Then the work of the leader in trying to foster or bring about the unity will become a success. You cannot wake up a mind that is pretending to be asleep. You will wake him up, and he will still be asleep. But when the person is truly asleep and it's time to wake up, it's easy to wake the person up. So Bawumia will lead in the unity process. He knows he is the ultimate beneficiary of the unity that he seeks in his party, and I'm sure he will commit all his time and energy to doing that. I am also very sure that the aspirants as individuals would want peace, because if the party ever comes into government, these are the people who would secure the top positions before those at the grassroots level get some of the positions. So it is also in their interest to make sure that they present a united party towards 2028. And I know they are going to be up and doing in seeking the unity. Where I think the stress should be is the individual members of the various factions in the constituencies who would feel perhaps qualified to come and campaign because some words they use against themselves, or who will feel so much affected because down there somebody did A or B to him because of his choice to support candidate A or candidate B. But if they all learn to forgive themselves, then when the unity team moves, their work will be successful and people will genuinely come on board to help.
Professor Sapon, I'm grateful to you for joining us here on Top Story. He is researcher and lecturer at the Kumasi Technical University. Dr. Arthur Kennedy, let me wrap up with you. Okay. Prof, are you still with me?
Yes, I'm with you.
Great. So, I mean, just as we saw in the Athamos case, we saw that he became his own man when he won power. Must it be different in the Bawumia case, or must he really show Ghanaians that, well, I've set a sort of a gap between me and former President Nana Akufo-Addo before that Ghanaians can believe him?
Kojo, who are the Ghanaians? When you leave the conversation for any NDC member, he will tell you Bawumia is not a man of himself. But if you should ask Bawumia himself, he will tell you he's a man of himself. And the work now is on NPP as a unit, as a body, to all come together and communicate clearly to the general public that Bawumia is a man of himself. If you entertain any communication, and especially when the party as a unit is not together in preaching that message that Bawumia is a man of himself, then the political opponents will just capitalize on that, because on the surface, Kojo, you and I, even me, I am a man of myself. How much more Dr. Mahamadou Bawumia? And besides, Nana Akufo-Addo has finished his term. He is now on retirement. And if you allow such a communication that the man on retirement is the one manipulating and controlling the active man in service, it is only for political whatever. And it is your opponents who must be doing that, of course, to weaken you. But you must always appear resolute. And the MPP members must appear resolute and communicate that strongly that Bawumia is a man of himself. I can't imagine for a day that Bawumia, before he would drink, will have to call Nanado and find out for him how to give Ghanaians pipe-borne water. Should I give them or shouldn't give them? Why? It will be funny, like it will be so ridiculous that Bawumia would not be a man of himself given the opportunity to lead the country. But your opponents will make those arguments to weaken your front.
Okay.
I just want to see NPP united and drum home that message very much that Bawumia is a man of himself. And let me also advise them on how they should treat Nana Akufo-Addo. You see, Nana Akufo-Addo towards his tail end had challenges. Ghanaians were extremely unhappy. Many of us were affected. But when a man is down, lessons are learned. So they can use Nana Akufo-Addo's test case as a serious learning curve. So they need Nana Akufo-Addo around to guide them on the places where he fell.
Okay.
Why? How did he do this? Why couldn't he succeed in this?
Okay.
So that they, when they get opportunity, can be better. They should not join their opponents in throwing away Nana Akufo-Addo with all the good things, even though he had bad side, and throw him away entirely like that. No, they need him to learn a lot of useful lessons from, especially the points where he started failing, so that in the event that Bawumia gets the kind of president, when he gets there, he will not fail.
Okay.
He would have an alternative means of going around the things that Nanado could not go around.
I'm grateful to you. Professor Smasapon is researcher and lecturer at the Kumasi Technical University. This has been Top Story, brought to you by Telecel, Holy Insecticide Spray and Coil, and also by Shield Pension Trust. My name is Samuel Kojo Brace. Up next is News Night. Good evening.